what actually went wrong with the side?
Yeah, very disappointing. We certainly hold high standards for ourselves and have been training that way. I think Bangladesh are playing really good cricket at the moment as well in their home conditions. I think today certainly we had a look at the wicket. We knew the wicket was a little on the drier side. Probably didn't expect it to take that much turn and or have that grip early on with the variation, and definitely needed to probably assess a little bit more, take a little bit more time. I think you saw in Bangladesh's innings there, you know, they sort of took their time compared to the first game where the ball was coming on under lights and there was a lot more dew. But I think from our point of view, just disappointing in how we adjusted to the conditions. I thought Bangladesh's bowlers bowled really well, but we certainly gave wickets away.
Do you think like your batting, we saw the lack of players, you couldn't bring here, like Bangladesh and other few players couldn't make the squad this time. So do you think your batting depth was not as much good as it should be?
I don't think necessarily the batting depth. I think just our decision making at the moment. You know, when you play a top size like Bangladesh in their home conditions, those small margins all of a sudden make a big difference in terms of what totals you can put on the board. Their bowlers don't give you what you necessarily are normally getting in terms of opportunities to score boundaries as well as quality fielding. So I think when it comes to missing players, we like to think that we've built quite a lot of depth within our Dutch cricket system in the last 3 to 4 years. And playing teams as good as Bangladesh, that depth is always going to be tested, especially for the players maybe sitting just underneath some of the top order batters that we do have at our disposal, the Colin Ackermans and the Buster Leerders. So certainly, if you're making poor decisions or you're taking a little longer to sum up conditions, when it comes to quality sides like Bangladesh, that's going to hurt you.
Netherlands are known for their fighting spirit. Do you miss that in this series? The fight till the end.
Yeah, I think when you put the scores we've put on the board, it's very difficult to defend those type of scores. I thought our bowling performance today was a lot better than the first game. I think we adapted really well to the conditions. We did use our cut as well, and I thought Aryan Dutt, he really stood up today in terms of his bowling. He holds himself in high regard in that, and he's one of the best bowlers to left-handed batters that I've certainly seen in international cricket. So when you look at playing in these conditions against quality sides, we certainly have a culture of fighting, and we don't like to go down very easily. So pretty frustrating in the last 2 games, and would like to think that in the last game that we could certainly put a total on the board and or restrict Bangladesh, depending on what we do first, to allow us to actually get into the game. I think in both games that we've played, we've not necessarily got into the game well enough, and that's always put us on the back foot, you know, certainly in the power play and going forward.
How do you feel about, as far as this series is concerned, we've played Bangladesh before you even beaten Bangladesh, but do you feel this is a different sort of team as far as the team spirit and mentality goes, especially in the field and also during bowling? Do you think that Bangladesh has improved a lot since the last time we faced them?
Probably have to ask Ryan Cook that question. He'd be a good guy, but you know, I think at the 2023 World Cup in India, we played Bangladesh there, obviously, and we managed to get a really good result in Kolkata. But you know, we've actually commented on their improved athleticism in the field. They also sort of their smarts around their batting. They take really good options on, and not sort of as frantic and erratic as or as inconsistent as they might have used to be. But again, you know, they're also looking to improve all the time. They've got a really group of players at their disposal. They've got some dynamic young batters that have come through the system as well, that are really starting to sort of put their stamp on a style and a way that Bangladesh wants to play cricket, and it's a really good challenge for us to take on a good team like that.
So this may be a very easy question, but toss is a big factor here. Team chased the total in 15 matches to win 12 matches. So it could be a very concerning, or you feel that it's unlucky that you are not winning that toss.
Well, we've spoken to our captain about winning us a toss or two. We haven't won many in the last little while. I think at this level, sometimes, when dew is such a big factor at a ground, that becomes quite a big thing. But I think in the end you still have to play quality cricket. If you end up losing after playing a good game of cricket, you can stand by that. I think we definitely probably haven't played to our standard that we want to play, as much as Bangladesh would probably play a really good cricket too, to probably restrict us in many ways. So yes, toss is important here with the dew factor in place, but at the same time, I don't think we've played well enough to sort of challenge Bangladesh in that case.
What's your expectation about your team for the last match?
Our team or Bangladesh's team?
Your team.
No, our team, look, we mentioned about fighting earlier as much as possible. I think there's a lot of pride in regards to our team. There's huge opportunities playing a quality team, a top 10 nation like Bangladesh in the cricketing space, and this is where we want to be as a cricketing nation, playing against some of the best white ball teams in the world. So from that point of view, you can be sure that we're going to rock up and make sure that we put up a massive challenge.
Probably two questions then, guys, if you want. Last two, any more ones? Yep.
So the Asia Cup is coming up, and that's a big discussion matter as far as Bangladesh is concerned. When you compare with the other teams, India, Pakistan, obviously two of the favorites in the tournament ahead, where do you rank Bangladesh, and how do you think about their chances given how they've played in this series so far?
Yeah, I think they're tracking really well. In white ball cricket, a lot of the teams have got a lot closer to each other. You look at how well Afghanistan's playing as well. You look at how well a team like UAE is competing. You guys played them the other day. So I think when it comes to white ball cricket, a lot of the teams are pretty close to each other. So the consistency that Bangladesh is showing with a bat, I think, is going to put them in good stead. They've got some really nice variety in their bowling lineup. In terms of left arm options, right arm options, they've got Taskunu bowls, 135 plus. So, and then they've got the Fizz, who's got all that variety that he brings to the table, and they've got Mahedi, his off spin's really valuable with the new ball, and he can bowl sort of anywhere in the innings. So I think when you look at the variety of their attack, I think they're always going to be competing. And if some of the young batters can stand up, as some of them have in this series, I think it gives them a really good chance going into the Asia Cup.
Last question.
How was the wicket? Especially some balls was not bounced like expected. Do you think there was change in according to first match? The wicket was
definitely first game, really good cricket wicket. 140 wasn't enough. We were probably about 45-50 runs short on that good surface. So in terms of that, it's certainly dried out in the last couple of days. It hasn't necessarily rained as much, but it's dried out quite a lot. And you obviously would have seen us batting first there with the ball just gripping a little bit more, whereas in the first game it sort of slid through. A lot of balls sort of skidding and hitting the bat a little bit harder. Today it sort of sat in the wicket. If it hit some of those cracks, it sort of certainly sat up a little bit more. Obviously moving for the last game, moving to a newer wicket again, or a fresh wicket, you'd probably have very similar conditions to the first game in terms of how it plays, I would assume. And then tonight the wind blew. So with the wind blowing, there was actually no dew at all. So the ball didn't necessarily skid through under lights. It also sat up, and you would have seen with the Bangladesh batting, I thought they probably showed us exactly how to bat in these conditions, where it wasn't necessarily a 9 or a 10 run and over run rate that they could chase, and they knocked it around at 7s and 8s until they built a partnership, and then they put their foot down towards the end to close the game out. So I think very different wickets from the first game to the second game. Just us not adjusting quick enough, and Bangladesh being pretty clinical in their skill sets.
Thank you, guys. Well, that was it. No, that was the last question. So we'll see you in 2 days for the final match, and if you want some private interviews, message me tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Tomorrow.